Hey guys, this is Matt Granger, that Canon guy, that Pentax guy, whatever. This is Matt Granger. I wanted to talk to you today about the Pentax K30. Sorry, let me just get this call. This is Matt Granger, that hugely popular getting one call in a day guy. Now, this one actually came out the end of last month, but I missed it, and I was looking at what the alternatives to the new Canon T4i are, given that the Nikon D50-100 is quite old comparatively, and this one, at least in terms of price, is right there with the Canon T4i. They're both selling for around $849 in the US for body only. So let's just take a look at what this fella offers, because I know a lot of you guys shoot Pentax, and not being one of the top two, and I say that, in terms of sales only, being Canon or Nikon, they are doing things a bit differently, and it seems like they're offering fantastic value on this one. So first of all, you can see from their promotion, they're really pushing this as a fully weather-sealed camera, which for something under $1,000 is really remarkable. I think they said that this has 81 different seals on the body, and that it's good to take a massive splash. Another thing you'll see on that here on the side view of this one, it's a really long joint for the flash, which yields this pop-up flash that, at least from this picture, looks like it's really well elevated from the lens. Now, that's not going to give you the same flattering thing that you can get of having an external flash unit or flash off camera, but still, the further you can get the light source away from the barrel of the lens is a good thing in terms of creating flattering portraits especially. Now, otherwise, a couple of great things this one offers. It takes, obviously, a lithium-ion battery, but you can use AA's with an optional little adapter. This one does something where it'll let you retrieve raw data from the buffer if you've shot something in JPEG and decide, oh no, I should have saved that one as a RAW because that's going to be a killer. Then, you can do that. It also, as you can see, comes in black, blue, and white colors. And it's got some really interesting things, like the screen at the back when you're in live view gives you 60 frames a second for really smooth movement. And this will do up to 6 frames a second in JPEG. Again, for under $1,000, that's a really, really good feature. Gives you 100% field of view on the viewfinder. Of course, full HD, and then at 60 frames a second if you go down to 720. This one, as well as being waterproof, it's also freeze-proof. They say it'll work to minus 10 degrees centigrade. It's tested and certified to. So this will be great for, if you're going to Antarctica or something like that, or if you're going to the snow at least. And another thing that stands this one out for the competition, well, two big things. One, its its shutter will go all the way to 1/6000th of a second, which is quite fast for a cheaper camera. And this one obviously has in-body stabilization, which neither the Canon or the Nikon variants have. You have to get the lens with the stabilization. So that's really great. So let's just take a look at the EOS 650, or the T4i they're calling it in America, from Canon versus the Pentax K30. Thanks to DP Review for this little side-by-side. So one interesting thing, they're right on top of each other in terms of price. And they categorize it as the Canon being a compact SLR and the Pentax being a mid-size SLR, which generally reflects more than just the size and dimensions of the thing. Both saying that they've got a stainless steel chassis with a polycarbonate over the top. The Canon has an 18 meg sensor, whereas the Pentax is 16.3. They're both APS-C. However, the Pentax, you can see here, is a little bit bigger. They both have the latest processing engines in them, and they'll both do through to 25,600 on boost ISO. You can see more white balance options, customized options on the Pentax compared to the Canon. The Canon is offering a lot of different shooting options, but then, the Pentax is actually giving you 3 options for JPEG, which is not a bad thing anyway. Another couple of things, it has 11 focus points, which is great, the Pentax, compared to the Canon's 9. And as I said, the focal length multiplier, it's actually 1.5 compared to 1.6 because of that difference in the sensor size, that slight difference. The screens, the Canon is an articulated screen, Pentax is fixed, both 3 inches. Canon has higher resolution, Canon has touchscreen, Pentax doesn't. Viewfinder coverage, as I said, the Pentax is 100, the Canon only has 95, and the Pentax also has higher magnification. And you see 1/6000th of a second or 1/4000th of a second. There's going to be times, especially if you're shooting wide open outdoors, that having a faster shutter speed is going to really come in handy. All the other things, you can see the range of different modes that the Pentax offers is quite extensive. What else? Doesn't mention the flash sync speed on this one. I'm not sure if that's been announced yet from Pentax. And the continuous drive, the Pentax will go all the way up to 6, whereas the Canon tops out at 5. Still both really, really good. It looks like the Canon has one extra metering option there. And yeah, they're both looking really good. They're using different codecs for recording video. You can see here, the Pentax only has a mono microphone, whereas the Canon has stereo, which is really good. Both taking your SD card variants, and on and on and on it goes. Battery life pretty similar, Canon getting a little bit more. And yes, the dimensions, the weight of the Pentax is 10% more than the Canon, but in terms of dimensions, it's actually slightly smaller. So smaller and slightly heavier. There you go. So anyway, I got to say, the Pentax, with its in-body stabilization, with its more advanced frame rate and focusing range, and the fantastic weather sealing that they're promoting, for an $850 camera, I really think it looks like a fantastic option. If you're just getting started and you're not sure which way to go, and you're not sure if you want to get in-body or in-lens stabilization, if you're up for in-body, this looks like a really great camera, and it is an intermediate in the range, but it's priced at a fairly entry-level range, so could be just a ticket for you. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Matt Granger, that Canon, Pentax, whatever guy. See you soon.